Welcome to Coffee with Chris. Today, my guest is 8-time award winner, singer-songwriter, and the amazingly talented Darrelle London. Thank you so much for your time and welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Darrelle, you have a new album coming out on Friday, March the 24th called Primary, and it's featuring 11 fabulous songs for kids, and I'm also going to say for people like myself who enjoy that type of music as well. Talk to me about this album, Primary. What was the drive to get it out there?
Oh my goodness, it's been a process. I'd say the seeds for a lot of the songs were planted in early COVID lockdown times when we were all, at home with our kids 24/7. And my kids were asking me questions every day that they might normally be asking a teacher in school, just things that come up, like not about COVID or anything, but just things that come up in life, like what are the primary colors and why should we not squish bugs in the backyard and just stuff. And I just felt inspired, I guess, to answer them in song. So a lot of them came about that way. And then I was fortunate enough to get some grants to help bring the album to life. So the recording was about a year, and now it's time to put it out there. So it's been a long time, and I'm very excited to share these songs with families.
So I have lots of questions about why we shouldn't squish bugs as well, but out of these 11 songs, is there one song on this album that really speaks to you?
Oh my goodness. They hold different places in my heart, I would say. I like Bugs. It was one of the first ones that I wrote. And the reason why we shouldn't squish bugs is because, what I tell my kids anyways is, especially when they're outside, we're kind of on their territory. So these songs, they kind of help me see things differently too, because, for example, like one of the lines in the songs is centipedes have many feet, but enemies they're not. And like, I have trouble with centipedes. So it's kind of teaching myself certain things as well. But yeah, I love Bugs. Wild Party is one that I enjoy just because it's kind of silly and fun and sort of has this like punk rock kind of vibe, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, they like I said, they hold different places in my heart, but I'm very excited about a lot of these songs.
Why centipedes? I want to ask you that one. Why does centipedes irk you a little bit out of all the bugs that are out there?
Oh my goodness. It's the legs. It's the number of legs. It's just something. Do you get that way with centipedes? And when
Earwigs, because they have that
earwigs
little
are your
pincer
thing.
thing on the end, and
Oh,
yeah, that freaks me out. But
okay. Yeah, for me it's centipedes. It's the legs. I don't know. But having two little kids and my boys, they like bugs, and it has really shown me to look at things from a different perspective. So we found these jumping spiders last summer,
oh wow.
and I learned they're called jumping spiders, and they look wild. Their front legs almost look like scorpion things. And we looked them up and realized that from the front, their faces are cute. Like they're so cute, and they have those big, cute spider eyes. So now when we see them, we try to get a picture of them from the face, and they're very cute. So it's all about perspective.
When you talk about your sons and you talk about how they enjoy bugs, I'm assuming you're going to play some of the songs for your children, but do they ever hear it and they're like, "Oh, mom, come on, not this again," or do they still get that happy-go-lucky smile and just jump in there with you?
They seem to still be really on board with these songs, which is nice because they are very honest. They don't care about my feelings at all. So if they're kind of singing the songs, like my little one likes to sing Chug a Choo Choo, or if they're kind of asking for them in the car, then that's always encouraging for me because, like I said, like they're not paying me any lip service. So they are, they're a good sort of test audience in that way.
My son also enjoys Chugga Chugga Choo Choo, just so you're aware.
I'm so glad.
There is a song on your album, Primary, called Pluto, and everyone's going to have a different interpretation of this song. For me, it sounds like we're singing and talking about being true to yourself, having different levels of tolerance, and just accepting. But when you wrote this song, Pluto, which I think everyone's just gonna, their minds are gonna blow when they hear this. Walk me through that process of Pluto.
Oh, thank you. First of all, it's a song I like to notice sort of what's out there in terms of children's music, and there's a lot of amazing children's music out there. If I wanted to write a space song, and there are some great songs already that sort of name and list the planets and help kids learn the names of all the planets, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I am a millennial and I grew up learning that Pluto is a planet. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what it is, but when we learned that Pluto's status had been changed, it just doesn't feel right. So I'm not a scientist. In our household, I guess we lead with feelings because we discuss Pluto as a planet. And so instead of, scientific fact, because technically it's not. But yeah, I just started thinking about how Pluto felt. If I felt this way, then how might Pluto have felt when all of that happened? And yes, it does tap into feelings that we've all had. Everyone has felt left out at some point. Kids feel that way all the time because they're still learning how to act around each other and how to be inclusive, which is something we talk about a lot in our house. But everyone's had that feeling. So I thought it was important to show Pluto sort of finding that sense of worth from themselves instead of from an external source, and sort of finding that self-love and happiness.
That's amazing. Listen, I grew up and Pluto was a planet when I was a kid as well. So I feel it when everyone's like, it's no longer a planet. I'm like, wait a minute here. What else are you not telling me? Um, well, that's really good that we talk about social literacy with this song and driving, feeling with your emotions and taking the lead from that. When we look at the primary album, how do you come about creating your music? I mean, some of it is observational songs or how you feel in the moment. A lot of people say they have this emotional charge or epiphany connection when they do songs. Is that something similar with your process?
Um, my songs, they start with a little like a seed almost. And with this album in particular, like I said, a lot of those seeds were kind of planted by questions from my kids or playing a game. Like Chugga Choo Choo happened from just messing around in the living room, and I was on the piano and I started singing it. And then my kids started lining up chairs and they were on a train, and I turn around and they're on a train, and I just realized, like, wow, music can really transport kids instantaneously. So yeah, a lot of them came from just being around my kids. But yeah, I like to take that sort of seed of an idea and sit at the piano or guitar or ukulele and kind of see where it goes without self-censoring a lot. And then it just sort of slowly kind of takes shape. Usually I write lyrics and melody at the same time, kind of everything at the same time. And then the finessing and crafting, that could take like a year or more. Like Pluto took over a year to write because things about it just weren't right. The chords, the chorus, what am I trying to say? And then other songs I might write in like 20 minutes. So you never know.
I want to ask you, do your children have a favorite song of yours that they're like, Mom, this is the best one?
I haven't asked that. So I'm not sure. They like it's hard to say because at nighttime, like at bedtime, they like lullabies. There's a lullaby on the album that I sing to them sometimes. But yeah, I think probably right now Chugga, but they like Wild Party too because there's kids, like a kid's part that's shouting on it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then throughout the song, and they helped record that, so they like that they were a part of that.
That's really cool. Now you actually have a lot of connections in Halton Hills. You grew up in Acton and went to school in Milton, and then you had an opportunity to go to law school and you changed paths to do performing. So walk me through what was it like going from Acton to Milton, saying no to law school, and creating this path to be a musician.
Yeah, so I grew up in Acton in the country on a farm. It was a really lovely part of Ontario to be in. Went to high school in Milton. I went to Western for undergrad, and then I took a year off to do sort of to dip my toe in the music stuff because I'd been writing songs since high school, and I knew that I really did want to be a singer songwriter. So I was dipping my toe in the music stuff, but at the same time applying to law school. So it really was this kind of fork in the road. And then I found out that I got in, and I got as far as U of T had this sort of orientation kind of thing, not quite orientation, but kind of come and meet the profs and law school day, and they asked us to turn to the person next to us in the auditorium and talk about what type of lawyer we thought we wanted to be. And this guy was talking about whatever type of lawyer he wanted to be. I don't remember. But when it came to my turn, I was kind of like, I want to be a singer. I can't think of a type of lawyer that I really want to be. So it kind of became clear sort of in that moment. And then I just dove headfirst into music.
Well, that's amazing, and myself, my son are very glad that you are in music. We
Oh,
do
that's
enjoy
nice.
listening.
Thank
So,
you.
where can people learn more about Darrelle London, your music, upcoming events, and you on social media? Where can we find that?
Yes. So it's darrellelondon.com, DARRELLE, and then London, like the city.com, is kind of my central hub. I have a newsletter that people can sign up for on there, which is a great way to find out about things first. I am on all the social platforms and trying to learn how to use certain ones. Like I'm on TikTok, and it is a big puzzle for me, but I'm getting the hang of it. So yeah, I'm pretty active on all of those things these days because I really am in, album promotion mode. So yes, please, I hope that people will stay in touch because otherwise it's hard to know kind of when I'm coming to your town, etc. if you're not connected, especially with the mailing list, I would say is the best way.
Okay. So I have a hard-hitting question for you here. What is something that people tend to misunderstand about you?
I would say so I spent about a decade making sort of folk pop, indie folk pop kind of music. And I toured a lot of colleges and played some festivals. And I think that my music has always sort of been described as like quirky or whimsical or whatever. And so I think that sometimes people thought, I don't know, I got the impression sometimes that that would make people take me a little bit less seriously or think that I'm just, I don't know, like a yeah, I guess I would say like take me not so seriously. But that's something on the new music that I've kind of enjoyed embracing about myself because I don't feel like I have to put a lid on that because it is a part of who I am. And I don't think that's a bad thing, And I think you can be someone who takes your craft seriously, but also have an element to your music and your personality that is fun and playful. So it's been fun to sort of embrace that and just let that out and not worry anymore about like, is this too cutesy or you know what I mean? Yeah.
Sounds like there's a lot of connections to the song Pluto and your album and your profession, which is beautiful, by the way. It really is about staying true to yourself, being you, and people are going to change around you. It's just important to be yourself and understand who that is. So
100%.
what's coming up? What's besides primary? What else can we expect from Darrelle London?
Okay, so before Primary comes out, I'm putting out one more single, and that's going to be Wild Party. So that's on coming out on March 10th. Primary is on the 24th, and then I'm currently in the process of booking the sort of spring and summer. So that will all be on my website, but we're looking to a lot of like outdoor festivals, concert series, kind of things that are easy to like very kid friendly, family friendly type events. So yeah, it's probably going to be a busy spring, summer. So definitely stay in touch for that.
Now, is there a piece of advice or motivation that you wish someone would have told you when you were starting out? Like, hey, do this, don't do that, or here's the path that might be better for you.
I would say, and this keeps going back to what we were just talking about, kind of, but um, really stay true to yourself because I've had every type of deal that you can have in the industry, like publishing, record deal, agents, managers, all the things. And some of them I left because they weren't healthy or right for me, and some of them I was dropped. And I had a lot of anxiety throughout those experiences about like, if I leave, then this is all going to fall apart kind of thing. But you have to just have enough confidence that you are kind of the common denominator. If people are showing interest in working with you, there's a reason for that. And especially now, artists really have so much power. You can make an album, put it out, get distribution, like all of that by yourself. So I would say just kind of hold on to that and only work with people or companies that are really aligned with you because you are in the driver's seat.
Stay true to yourself and take control.
Yes.
I have time for one last question for you, Darrelle, and it's a really big one for me. But what makes Darrelle London smile?
The thing that makes me smile lately is when I hear my kids getting along. So they love each other and they're 2.5 years apart and they are best friends. But there's a lot of like chaos in my house. But when I hear them playing together, cooperating, and no one's told them to, like working together on a project or an art, sometimes they make art together and it's like, it's the cutest thing. And they're just being kind and sweet. That makes me so happy.
That's beautiful. And we can find you on darrellelondon.com. Please follow her on all social media that you can find her on. That is all the time I have. Thank you so much for being here, Darrelle. I really appreciate that. Have a
Thank
fantastic day,
you.
everybody, and smile to inspire.